You're listening to the Roundin Third Baseball Podcast, presented by Beyond the Monster.
So going back to the draft process, what was that experience like for you?
Draft process, 2019 summer. It was good, man. It was good. You know, I was at practice with the boys at Mississippi State, and coach called me in, said, "Hey, you just got drafted." I got to celebrate with the teammates. So that was a fun day.
Yeah. Did you know it was going to be the Rays, or did any other teams show kind of the same level of interest? Or
the New York Mets drafted 19. Yeah, and then I was with the Mets for 3 years, and Marlins for 1. Now I'm with the Rays.
Yeah, I know you made kind of a legend at Mississippi State, especially setting the hits record for the SEC. What was kind of just that moment like? I watched some replay from that game yesterday, but what was it like setting that record?
Oh man, it was cool. It was cool. I was glad to get it over with because, we had a bunch of games left and we were like 2 away that day. So I was just kind of, excited to just move on from it. Everybody would be asking me about it and how many are you away and stuff like that. But it was a fun experience. Got the base hit, a little blue pit down right field line, and it was over with. But really cool experience, man. It was a good day.
Yeah. And during your time there, I know you played in the College World Series. I know that's something, baseball players dream of. What was that, being in that environment like?
Oh, man, that was, 2 of the best weeks of my life in junior and senior year. It was a great experience. Just I tell every baseball fan that you need to go check that place out. Just experience it once before you die. And it's a great spot for baseball fans just because everyone there is just it's not just the teams that are in there like fan bases. Now don't get me wrong, Mississippi State showed up like fan base wise, but you just get so many people that just like love the game of baseball there walking around and soaking it all in.
Yeah. What was your favorite part about that kind of weekend too, if you could pick one thing?
Favorite part, opening ceremony, the first trip there was pretty cool. Like just kind of realizing like, man, we made it here. Let's make a run at it. And because it's so hard to get into it, man. There's 8 teams and 300 D1 baseball teams. It's really difficult to make that cut. But it was. I'd say that opening ceremony is really, really cool.
Yeah. Now shifting back to your minor league career so far, I know you finished last year. One stop away from the majors. What has each level taught you, as you've moved up each level?
A little bit of everything, man. That's a good question. A little bit of everything, I'd say a big thing is a reminder that it's just the same game. It's the same exact baseball game you've been playing your entire life, but it's just little things that you need to adjust to at each level. And, hopefully one day I can see what the major leagues is like. So, but I've enjoyed it so far. And the first full season in AAA last year was a big learning experience as well. But, we're going to keep going and see how long of a career we can have.
Yeah. I know you recently became a Ray, kind of swapping Florida teams there a little bit. How excited are you to join, an organization like that that's usually always in the playoff contention, usually gets the best out of their, young and talented players like yourself?
When I got traded, I was, the first thing I thought about was, man, like Tampa's, their reputation of minor league development and just winning at every level. Like the Durham Bulls, for example, their AAA teams always finish in top in the AAA league. I was up in the Northeast in the AA, but I know the Montgomery Biscuits, they're AA teams in the South, so I didn't really ever get to play them. But the reputation for the Rays is just like they develop players and they get the most out of their guys. So my immediate reaction was just, man, I'm really excited to get in the room with them and learn what how they do things, how they teach things, what's their philosophies, what's their approaches, I just want to be a sponge and soak it all in and be the best baseball player I can be.
Yeah. Have you been able to talk with anyone from the organization yet?
Yeah, I've talked to a couple guys that have reached out to me, 4 or 5. I got some former teammates in college that are in the Rays organization, but I've had a couple staff reach out to me and welcome me to the organization, which is awesome. Everything's been really good so far. I haven't met anybody yet face to face, but I think we're a couple weeks away from that, so we'll get rolling.
Yeah. And what's kind of the best advice you've gotten during your minor league career so far?
Man, it just depends on what area, like if it's hitting, if it's mentality, if it's a defense, if it's base running. I've had so many people be really good to me and teach me different things. I'd say that it all just depends on what aspect of it. My head coach last year, taught me things that weren't even really about hitting that I really needed. I mean, of course he helped me with hitting, but it just depends, man. Like, it's just on what aspect of it. But the best advice would be try to stay the same every day, man. It's a long year. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And that really is true. It's whoever can be the most consistent is probably going to have the best year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if a Rays fan was to come up to you and ask kind of the best, your best skill that you bring to the organization, how would you answer that?
Man, I'm going to play as hard as I can every day. That's the one thing I can promise is I'm going to give you all I got. And I think that's kind of goes into the consistency piece. So, it's just, if someone would ask me, I'd just say, man, I'm going to play as hard as I possibly can every day. Hopefully I can help win some ball games and I'm a good fit with them. I'm excited for the opportunity and I can't wait to get started.
Yeah. I know you've seen a couple minor league stadiums in your time. If you could pick like as your favorite, what would be your top 5 minor league stadiums that you've played in so far?
Top 5 minor league stadiums. Charlotte Knights got to be up there. That Charlotte's really cool. Charlotte, North Carolina. Hartford, Connecticut, really cool. AA. I really enjoyed Charlotte. I'd say Charlotte's far and away number 1. Hartford, Connecticut. I've always said Hartford Stadium. It's so awesome there. Yeah. So favorite in AA was Hartford. Favorite AAA, Charlotte. Ooh, after that, I don't know, man. I don't know. I have to think about that. But those are my top 2. Portland, Maine was really cool. I really enjoyed that. Just with the history with Portland was awesome to experience. I like playing at Memphis a lot. It's an old stadium, beautiful ballpark. Memphis is great because it's close to home as well. So Memphis is always one of my favorite trips. And then Durham, man. I'll know I'll most likely be a Durham Bull this year to start, but I really enjoyed Durham. It's a pretty ballpark. And the history of Bull Durham and all that's awesome. They still wear the same logo, same uniforms. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to the Charlotte Stadium. Just seeing pictures of that being kind of right in downtown, that looks like a great place to play ball.
Yeah, you got to check it out, man. It's a really cool ballpark with a great backdrop.
Yeah. And so I know one of your main goals this year is getting to the majors. Obviously finished last year in AAA, but what are some of your goals for the 24 campaign, besides that?
Just continue to, learn and get better. I liked the year I had last year, and I'm working on the things that I needed to get better at, and I need to continue to do that. That's it. But personal goals would just be the best player I can be, man. Of course, making it to the majors, you're right, would be awesome. But apart from that, be the best player I can be, and the rest take care of itself.
Yeah, I know last year you had a career high 52 RBIs. You're a little more of a run producer. What kind of led to that success?
guys getting on base, I'd say. Guys getting on base for me. And it was the first year I got to really play a full season. It was supposed to be my fourth full season, but my first one got canceled due to COVID. My second full season, we had a COVID outbreak on the team. They shut the whole league down or they shut the whole, a couple teams down for like a month and a half. And then the year after that, I had a stress fracture in my back. So it was really the first full year that nothing kind of weird happened. So I'd say that's the biggest thing. But guys getting on base for me as well.
And what would be your favorite baseball memory from your career, whether it's from the minors or for college so far, if you could pick one?
Oh gosh. Winning a high school state championship with the guys you grew up with is always. I think that's one of the coolest things you can do as an athlete is a high school state championship with the guys you grew up with from just being a young kid. Getting to do that with the guys was. College, it was probably it was junior year, clinching to go to Omaha for the first time. That was a really cool feeling. And then in pro ball, man, it's got to be the AAA, getting to Double A, just your debut, like your debut at every level is always really, really cool. It's it's just a new level, and I'd say the Double A debut and the AAA debut were both experiences I'll always remember.
Between those two, is there one that stands out more?
Not really, man. It's like it's the same type feeling about both of those, but it was just, man, like you work your entire life at this sport you love so much, and just that feeling of, man, I made it to when I got the AAA, just the feeling of like there's only one more level that's higher than this one. Like you were, what I mean? So that's a really cool feeling. So I'd say those two for sure.
This is kind of a non-baseball one, but what are some of your favorite holiday traditions, with it being Christmas less than a week from now?
Man, I'd say just hanging with the family, man. Getting some time with the family is always great. Being on the road for 8-9 months out of the year, just being able to hang out at the house and, it's awesome. Just the kind of time to relax with everybody. Great. But camp's just a couple weeks away. So we're working and we're going to try to do all we can to have a great year.